Register now for the 2024 Past the Wire Kentucky Derby Seminar. In-depth analysis of every horse, contenders, pretenders, live long shots, and more. The Kentucky Derby Seminar on PastTheWire.com. Reserve your seat today. Remember, nobody does it better.
Thank you for visiting Past the Wire TV, the YouTube channel of PastTheWire.com.
Sure Bet Coffee. Put the giddy up in your cup.
Hi, everyone. Today I want to welcome to the show Madison Olver, and she's currently riding races at Aqueduct Racetrack in New York. And welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so, I'm out on the West Coast in California, but every once in a while I'll be watching on TV and I'll see, you winning races. So you recently finished your apprenticeship. Is that correct?
I did. Yeah, I did.
So when did your apprenticeship, or when did your journeyman start?
It started only, I want to say 2 weeks ago. Not that long ago.
Gotcha.
To be honest with you, I don't remember the exact date.
So
At this
so
point,
around the
if we count this week, it's probably about, I would say 2 racing weeks.
Yeah. So about the middle of March, you became a journeyman, and
Yes.
if I read the stories correct, you were one of the first apprentice jockeys, female jockeys, to ever win a graded stakes in New York. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I
Congratulations.
appreciate that.
And could you tell me a little bit about that horse that you rode in the stakes and have done so well with?
Yeah, no, he's so cool. He he's not necessarily, I get on him every morning too. He's been in New York since like a week before the toboggan. And he can be tough to ride. Like in the morning he's pretty strong, but he's really developed this wonderful personality since he's been here. He just is so happy to train and try his best, and I think he really loves what he does, and he's so honest, and he tries his absolute best, and he's also incredibly talented. He's gorgeous. He's this gorgeous animal. He's just wonderful. I'm so lucky to have a partnership with him.
Yeah, no, that and definitely as an apprentice, that definitely turns heads and gets you some more mounts. And it seems like you have a pretty good female jockey colony there in Aqueduct with the Davis girls, and so you guys have a little camaraderie as well as a little competition out on the track.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I would say, I mean, a lot of camaraderie. Absolutely. Like they were there when I, rode my first race, and then also when I won the graded stakes, and they're wonderful, just really wonderful riders, wonderful people. Yeah, it's really great to share the room with people like them, for sure.
So, where did you first start riding, and when did you first get the inclination that you wanted to become a jockey?
I've been riding horses since I was a very, very small child. Thanks to my mom, who just decided to, let me ride some kind of crazy horses and Mustangs and stuff like that. And I didn't actually learn to gallop race horses until I moved to France after I graduated high school. And then there was a trainer over there who was willing to just give me a shot to, gallop race horses and see if I could learn how to do it. And I, ended up falling in love with it. Was supposed to stay for a very, very time, and ended up staying till I was 21. And I wanted to try it, like I wanted to just try riding in a race. I didn't really have any intentions or expectations, I should say, of it being able to be a full blown career. And then I had to come back to the States because of COVID. Graduated college in Colorado, which is where I'm born, and got a job with Christophe Clement, the French connection, and worked for them for about 2 years. And that's when I really was like, okay, I want to try doing this. I just want a shot.
So it's quite a journey to go from Colorado to Metz on Lafitte, France. So
Yeah,
that's
it is.
interesting jump. And when you came back and when you worked for the Clement stable, was that in New York or Florida?
That both. So
Both.
I first started with them in I first started with them in Saratoga Springs on the Oklahoma training track. So that was like my first track that I worked at in the States, actually. And then I went with them to Florida, came back to Saratoga, and then went to Belmont.
And so Aqueduct is your home track right now. Do you plan on race riding in New York year round?
Ultimately, yes, that would be the ultimate goal. Right now, I think it's a tall task to go to Saratoga. So I plan on going to Monmouth in the summer,
Oh, okay.
which is where
Very
I
good.
rode last summer. Was there, and I had a really good meet and got support from some pretty high profile barns, which was really cool. Made a lot of connections, and I liked the track there. So
And so when did you ride your first race?
it was sometime in November of last year, of whatever 20.
2022, probably.
Yeah, it would have been 2022.
Mhm.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, so
Mhm.
that would have been when I rode my first race.
Mhm.
Orlando Noda gave me my first horse. We finished third. And then I got my first winner with him this year.
Same trainer? Mhm.
Yeah, with him. That was my
Mhm.
first winner for him was this year. So that was
And
cool.
and one that everybody remembers. So who was your first winner and what was the horse's name and how did the trip go?
Curbstone.
Ah, see, it always comes out quick.
Of course it does, because he was my first winner and he was my fifth winner.
Nice. So it started your apprenticeship.
Yeah, he's a cool horse. I love that horse. I definitely have an attachment to that horse. Um, I
Who
just
who
remember
who was who was the trainer for that horse?
Tom Morley.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, he still has him actually. And I just remember him telling me to make every pull a winning pull. Not get in his way too much.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, like I knew how to read the PPs, and I kind of would have an idea of who would be like dead speed or whatever, but it wasn't the knowledge that I would say I have now. So I'm just like, all right, I'll do that, and that horse won easily. And then when I rode him again, he won by like a pole. He's
Mhm.
a cool horse.
He got that light weight on his back. He got out there and just kept on
Yeah,
going. And
yeah.
he and definitely I feel this way, and you could tell me what you think, but there's certain horses that actually kind of like the female riders. They like that lighter touch. They like kind of, like you mentioned, staying out of their way.
Mhm.
Have you found that to be the case on some of the horses that you ride? They really
Oh,
respond to you a lot better?
yeah, absolutely. I think there's some horse, and it's I can't I absolutely cannot say every horse.
Mhm.
Um, and that's with any rider. There's some horses that run for you and some horses that run better for other people, and you don't always know why. But there's definitely certain horses that I feel like they get along really well with me, and I get along really well with them, and I can't always say why specifically, but some horses you know, I think most horses, you know, they like being asked rather than told what to do. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you know, like can't really,
They're
you know, there's not much you can if you can't
they're
force them
they're
to
a
do
lot
anything.
they're a lot bigger if they make up their mind to do something.
They're gonna do it for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
So, you know,
and
that's it.
so this summer you'll be heading to Saratoga, or you're going to be riding at Monmouth? Which did you? I'm
Monmouth.
sorry.
I mean, I plan on
Which one?
riding. I'm sorry.
So you'll ride Monmouth Park, but if you get the opportunity to ride Saratoga, you would definitely give that a shot.
Oh, absolutely. For sure. No question.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I
And
fully
now,
plan on having those opportunities as well.
and excellent. We know that an agent is a big part of a jockey's business. Have you had a couple different agents? Who's your current agent?
I started with Joe Migliori,
Oh, okay.
who is Richard Migliori's son. He taught me because he can watch a race and will notice everything. He taught me a lot. He helped me a lot. He helped me, you know, stay in this business because it gets really tough, especially. I mean, I think at any point in time, but when you're first starting out and you're not, you're not quite as used to the turmoil.
Mhm.
He really helped me keep going. And, you know, even when I did go to Monmouth and you know, he's not going to Monmouth, so we had to professionally part ways just for that time period. You know, he still was a big supporter, still, you know, would try to teach me things because there's obviously still things I need to learn. I mean, we're learning every day. Uh, and in Monmouth, I had Sean Klotz, and we did really well there together. And you know, that was a great experience. Um, yeah, I mean, I've been very lucky in that aspect for sure.
So when you talk about your time in France, do they still do it in Europe where you kind of groom the horse as well as ride the horse every morning?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like that when I learned with the race horses, it was I mean, you get on maybe 4 or 5 horses. It takes all morning, you know, until till later than we work here in the States for sure, because you're doing everything. You're grooming, you're tacking up, you're walking, you're feeding, you're jogging for the vet, you're, you know, doing the wraps, you're doing all the basic vet care and the you'll even, you know, be the groom for the race, lead them up for the race and all of that. And you know, and then when you walk to the track, it's you hack to the track, so it's a, you know, an extra 20 minutes you're walking to the track and an extra 20 minutes you're walking back from the track.
So
So,
it
which I think
definitely
was
gives,
good to have that base, that foundation of horsemanship in
yeah,
addition to the riding.
definitely gives a well-rounded experience and a really close bond because you're grooming the horse, you're riding the horse, and then so
Absolutely.
you got to ride at different tracks like synthetic, on the grass over there. Has that helped
hmm
you when you started riding turf races?
I think so. At least I would like to think so. It's such a different style of riding. There's no breaking out of the gate and sending. You know,
Hmm.
it's a lot of like, even in the mornings, you know, you break out of the gate or you're schooling on the grass, you're doing something, you take a hold, you sit behind, you know, you come out, you wait for that moment to come out, and then, you know, it doesn't take very long for the horse to accelerate. You know, they rely on a lot of quick acceleration over there. So, um, I think if I were to like go back now and ride a race there, I think I would probably find myself on the lead by accident or something because it's
You'd
it's
try,
so
you would try,
different.
you would try and make every pole a winning one.
Yes,
And that's
yes.
good. So,
And I
and
don't,
then
that's not how they ride there.
yeah, they like to in America it's a 22-23 opening quarter, and in Europe it's like a
Yes.
24-25. So
Yes,
it's
exactly.
reversed. It's reversed in the U.S. Oftentimes they come home on the slower side, and in
hmm
Europe they quicken. And you see it in the Breeders' Cup when the horses come over, and then we have the mixture of American horses versus the European horses or overseas horses. So it is an excellent experience that you got to have at a young age. You're still young. You just started your journeyman part of your jockey career, and like you said, you're learning every day. So, do you have what are some things outside of the track that you like to do?
Ooh. I have a dog. I have a dog that he's been with me since I moved back to the States from France. I got him when I came back, and he's lived in, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 different states with me, lots of different, so many different, he moves every 6 months with me. And so he's been a really wonderful friend to me. Um, I if I'm making friends on the track, I love to spend time with them, and it's nice to, have a community with people that understand what it's like in the business, and have that support,
Yeah.
that
It,
friendship.
and I think the racetrack, you have a lot of people. You see it whether you're in the same track or you're even the same country, and when there's that good camaraderie. Like you haven't seen people in a while, they come together. If people need help, they help. And then also, it's just you can go out as a group and hang out and have fun because you have common interests. And it's a lot like coworkers in a outside the track where they'll hang out and go to lunch or sporting events or concerts when they're not working. So that's a
Absolutely.
really cool community that you have that you're working with. And
Hmm.
your dog being on the East Coast, trainers, jockeys, exercise riders, they do have to tend to move a lot, depending on the circuit that they're working. So
Hmm.
I'm sure the animals are like, hey, especially your dog, as long as I'm with Maddie, I'm cool. wherever she
Yes.
wherever she wants to go. So
Win, lose, or draw, he's gonna love me the same.
that's
So
it.
that's,
So that's
that's
got to be
important.
really good because you mentioned, if things aren't moving or progressing as quickly as you want, there can be a little bit of definitely a lot of peaks and valleys. We
Yeah.
touched on the big uh, excitement of winning a graded races. Uh, and but then there's also the times where, man, I've been in a slump. I haven't won. It's been
Hmm.
X amount of race days, or I'm losing all the photos. I'm getting head bobbed at the wire.
Hmm.
So you really, between your agent, yourself, and whatever you can do, you really have to always keep pumping yourself up and letting you know that hey, tomorrow's a new day, it's going to turn, it doesn't always go like this. So it's has your agents or like some of the other the Davis girls in the jockeys room, you have a good support system helping you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then, too, like my family is, they're incredibly supportive. And they don't know much about this world. They're not from this world. They didn't anticipate me being in this world.
Mhm.
But they, they're such wonderful people to lean on. And yeah, it's really, I'm very lucky, yeah, to have the support system that I have, because when it gets tough, it does,
Mhm.
and they help pull you out of
and
that.
and have you been relatively lucky as far as no major mishaps or injuries? Because we know that's part of the game, being a jockey. There's always things that happen.
Yeah, I mean, knock on wood, but
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I've had some spills, and I've landed myself in the hospital a couple times, but I've been able to ride, like the next day or the day after. So
Good. So
that's yeah,
nothing,
thank God, yeah,
yeah. So that's great. Hopefully, continued safety and success for you.
absolutely.
Um, and so, were you competitive as a youngster? Did you play sports? And because we know, like, going from exercise rider to a jockey, there's definitely that competitive spark that you go
Mhm.
out there and you want to, do your best and beat the other jockeys. Did
Of
you play
course.
any sports growing up?
Just soccer.
Okay, good.
Just
Well,
soccer.
so you definitely had the conditioning and the fitness part of things because there's awfully a lot of conditioning that goes into soccer.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, to be fair, when I started riding, I wasn't playing soccer really at that point, but uh Yeah, I mean, too, I think a lot of the competitiveness too in this specific industry comes from like how passionate you are about it and how much you want it, how much you love it. And I think that's a really key factor. You know, the more passionate you are about it, the more you're gonna
Definitely,
want it. Yeah.
definitely. Well, I wish you good success going forward. I'm glad the viewers will get to meet you without your helmet on, and they get to see you talking, because, like we said so many times, unless you're doing a quick interview after a win or something like that, I just wanted to kind of put the show together so people could meet the players and all the different trainers, jockeys, and we're going to have a few other people on, and just really appreciate your time coming on, and much continued success in New York and in New Jersey.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Very cool what you're doing, and thanks for talking to me.
Awesome. Well, that's Madison Olver, and she's currently riding in New York, and she's going to give you everything she's got when she's riding. So don't be afraid to bet your $2 there. All right. Have a great day, Maddie.
Thank you so much.
It's not free. You have to pay attention to Pass the Wire TV. Nobody does it better. You don't break your maiden first time out. That way, if you can't run with it, we'll take a look at him and see if he looks in his first start at a mile as professional or more professional than Dornuch did. I think this was to sit off a couple of horses, sit in that stalking spot, like you said, that second flight, and make a run. And I think he's got a lot of room to develop.
Hasn't missed a workout either. Looks like.
I think he's sitting on a huge race, and anywhere near 4-1, I'm all in on Sierra Leone. Any move forward puts him square in this race, and Catching Freedom for Brad Cox was my top choice here.
So I think this race is going to set up very similarly to the Risen Star, except I think Catching Freedom will be the one storming late down the center of the track.
We should be looking for ways to beat the favorite in a large field. I think Resilience has been running against the top end of Derby contenders. I am on the one, Resilience, as my top choice.
I'm going to use him in my exactas, and by default, because if he really improves, I have to use him on my multi-race wagering. It's the 11 Society Man.
Chad Brown gets him ready, and he's no slouch when it comes to a trainer, as it is.
For sure. All right, so Sierra Leone for me, Sierra Leone for you. Just kind of always been around it. Antonio Fresu is an excellent rider. I'm on Stronghold in the Santa Anita Derby.
Nobody does it better.